What's up, everybody? So today we're back again with another video, and this one's going to be about which German helmet should you get for your World War II German reenacting impression. In the video we're going to discuss prices, the differences in the original versus the reproduction, places to find these, and stuff like that. So to start with, here on the left we have an original, and to the right we have the reproduction. So to start with, on the original, these can be a little bit expensive as far as price, depending on your head size. So let's say you are a 62 to 64. It's going to be a little bit cheaper for you, especially if you choose to get the M42 style helmet, as those are the cheapest models you can get. If you want to get like an M35 or M40, those are going to be a little bit more, especially once you start getting up into the 66 and 68 shell size range. This one here is a size 66. What I paid for it, I got this for a very, very good deal. However, though, these do retail for over $300. So you can find them for good deals. You just gotta be at the right place, right time, and have the money to pull the trigger on it. But for the most part, if you're gonna buy an original helmet in a large size from a vendor or dealer, it's probably gonna be a little expensive. But at the same time, the way I look at it is, it's an investment. You know, you can't get any better than an original World War II German helmet shell for reenacting, in my opinion. So to talk about the reproduction a little bit, this is one from Kelly's Military. This is a M35 size 68, and this is one I have repainted for a person who sent it to me. And you can get these helmets for around, I think it's $59.95 on Kelly's Military's website. When you get these, you know, you're going to want to do two things I always recommend everybody do. First of all would be a strip and a repaint, because the paint that comes with them is pretty bad. So you're going to want to strip it, and then underneath the bad paint you're going to have Bondo, which is terrible. So I stripped all the Bondo, all the bad paint off of this, and repainted it myself in the proper aluminum oxide texture. And after that's complete, if you want to, which I highly recommend, would be to swap out the liners. I mean, these are okay to start with, I guess, but you can fit an actual size 68 Czech Repro liner. And to show you what one looks like, the one in my original restored helmet is a high quality Czech reproduction. As you can see, the obvious difference in the two. You will definitely want to put one of those in here. And these helmets are true to their size, like I said, so you can fit an actual high quality liner in the size 68 into these helmets. That back there. So to talk a little bit about where to buy these. You can get these from quite a few vendors. Like I said, this one came from kellysmilitary.com. Hessen Antique carries these, At the Front carries them, and there's a number of other vendors too. I will say though that these are probably, in my opinion, the best reproduction helmet you can get at this time. Yes, no reproduction helmet is perfect, okay? They all have their flaws, but this is the best, in my opinion. There's a lot of really, really bad reproductions on the market, but over the past 10 years or so, they have came a long way with drastically improving reproductions, and these, in my opinion, if you need one, this is the one to get. They also have M42s as well, ones that are marked like ET66, but those aren't true size 66 helmets. They are actually size 64s. So you got to be careful with that, because sometimes their sizes aren't true to what they say they are. But with these, they are. These are actual 68s. You can get these in M40 and 35s. Like I said, this is a 35. Which brings me to another thing I want to talk about, is the sizes. So most reenactors are large sizes, like 66 through 68. Some people are even size 70s, but for now we're just going to talk about 66 through 68. So let's say you wanted to get an original restored M35 size 68. You're going to be paying close to $500 for an original restored helmet in that model and size. So you can either do that, and if you're able to do that, more power to you. I highly recommend it. It's a true investment. You can't go wrong. But if you don't have the money at the time and need a decent starter helmet for reenacting, definitely get one of these, you know, because these are, like I said, $50.95 on Kelly's Military website, and they look really good, you know, compared to a lot of reproductions I've seen over the years. These are pretty nice. The shell shapes are pretty good. The air vents are not bad. Try to get you a close up. Air vents are not bad. The front view of the helmet is not terrible. Some reproductions are really wonky looking and whatnot, but these have overall a pretty decent shape to them. And the back view is also not bad either. But compared to an original, there is a couple flaws, but that's a given. Like I said earlier, it's a reproduction, you know. They all have their issues. So like I said, this is an original ET M40, and this one's also marked ET. It's reproduction. And one of the biggest things I noticed between the two, I mean, obviously, you know, this one's a M40 and this is a 35, but other than the air vent, there really was no difference between the 35 and 40. But let's start with on the details. If you look at the skirting of the original one compared to the Repro, it's a little bit shorter. Try to get you a good angle. As you can see, the original is taller than the reproduction. The shell shape overall of the reproduction is a little bit more rounded as far as the dome goes. A little bit more rounded than compared to the original. The other thing too is the curve through here and the visor. Now just take a good look at the original for a moment, and you can see the nice curve and the visor. And if we come over here to the reproduction, a little bit different. The visor is a little bit more pointed, and the curve is not as strong as on the original. You can take a look at that for a second, and if you want to pause it and examine a little bit closer, feel free to do so, and then we'll jump back over real quick and look at the original again. Another thing I did have to do to this helmet I wanted to point out is when you first get these, the edges are typically have like a little point right here on both sides. So what I did, I took a torch, heated up the metal, and then I tried to round it out a little bit more. It definitely looks a lot better than it did. and there's not a real sharp point there anymore. It's more rounded now. So now we'll talk about the inside of the reproduction. So like I said a little bit ago about the liners, yeah, you're going to want to swap that out. So we've already kind of talked about that. The helmets do come with markings. So this is the ET68 that comes in the reproduction. It's kind of wonky, so I'll go ahead and show you the original real quick. And here we have an original ET marking. As you can see, it's a lot nicer, it's smaller, way different from the reproduction. And then here to the rear we have the lot number, which is 996. Once again, the font of it is a little wonky, but it's not too big of a deal. I mean, at least that the helmets have markings, so that's a pro. So let's see here. So other than that, I believe that about covers it. To just kind of do a once over on things, you know. If you're a larger head size and just coming into the hobby, and you know you're already spending a bunch of money on your gear and whatnot, and you don't have $300 to $400, maybe even $500 if you're going for a large size M35, definitely look into getting one of the reproductions. You know, it's a decent starter helmet, and in my opinion, it's the best option as far as the reproduction goes for the M35 and M40 models. Once you've been in the hobby for a minute, you know, you got your impression together, and you know, you start saving a little bit of money. That's when you can look into getting an original. But if you have the money to start with, to buy one the first time, by all means, go ahead and do it. You will not regret it. It's a great investment, and you'll never need another helmet again. So I'll be sure to put a link in the description for where to get both original restored helmets and reproductions. The one place, like I said earlier in the video, I highly recommend is GermanHelmetsInc.com. He sells fantastic restored World War II German helmets. And for the reproductions, Kelly's Military at the front, Hessen Antique. Those are the three off the top of my head. I know that carry these. I'm not sure if they're in stock, but one of them's got to have them in stock. So if you guys have any further questions or comments, feel free to leave it in the comments below, and I will be sure to respond to each and every one of you. Be sure to like the video, subscribe for more, and I appreciate everybody who comes to here and watches my videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.